Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers is 10. Frank Tarkington, Carson Palmer, Vinny Testaverde, Drew Bledsoe, Dan Fouts, Kerry Collins, Joe Montana, Johnny Unitas, Matt Ryan, Aaron Rodgers.
Where's Tony Romo?
I don't know. It stops at 10.
Vinny Testaverde.
Or it stops at 20.
All 20 of them are Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
Passing TDs.
And Tony Romo's not in there.
Passing TDs. Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Dan Marino, Frank Tarkington, Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, Aaron Rodgers, Ben Roethlisberger, John Elway, Carson Palmer, Warren Moon, Johnny Unitas, Vinny Testaverde, Joe Montana, Dave Craig, Sonny Jurgensen, Dan Fouts, and Drew Bledsoe.
Rivers, Breeze, and Ben Roethlisberger were in both of those lists. Tony Romo is not. I can agree with the group other than Tony Romo.
No,
I think Tony Romo is
Tony
on the fence.
Tony Romo gets in before Rivers does.
Rivers is still playing. He could still do something.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Romo got injured out of the league.
I know, and I would hope that he can come back and play at some point. I don't know if that's feasible, but I do think that if he were to retire today, and I don't think he hasn't really officially retired from football yet, has he?
Romo?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's so he's fully retired.
He's retired.
Okay, so at this point then, if he does not come back or gets somehow persuaded to come back, he's on the fence.
He's not on the fence. He's Hall of Fame.
I don't know.
Vinny Test never won a Super Bowl either, did he?
No.
Vinny Testaverde's not in the Hall of Fame.
He will be.
I don't know if he should have already been. He should have already gotten in it with how many years he's been out. He's going to have to be put in by
not
committee.
that far off the list. 38,000 passing yards. Romo's at 34,000. Passing TDs. Number 20 is at 251. Tony Romo's career TDs sit at, give me 1 second, 248. So he's like 21 on that list for passing touchdown.
And you're talking about a guy who missed 2 complete seasons due to injury.
These are and I know, and that's where I feel like I could see where he can get in, but I can also see where he can not get in.
Here's the only thing if Terrell Davis made the Hall of Fame, Tony Romo's a Hall of Famer.
Different position though,
different position. He was an average running back.
The hard thing with the Football Hall of Fame to me is that it always seems to have their position, along with baseball too. I guess the position really has a lot to do with how you make the Hall of Fame.
It shouldn't.
I know it shouldn't, but it does. And it's like they're always comparing, especially like baseball players, they're always really comparing it by position and who the best person at that position was.
Which is stupid.
Yeah. Like Don Mattingly should be in the Hall of Fame.
You're a Yankees fan, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't
I'm saying
want
that
to,
unbiasedly too.
I don't want to cause a controversy, but I haven't seen Didi Gregorius miss anything that Derek Jeter wouldn't have. I think looking at it, Didi Gregorius, in my opinion, is so close to where Derek Jeter was. It's not funny.
Yeah, I'm very happy with Didi. If he can stay this consistent, then
he's my favorite Yankee. He's exciting.
He was someone when we
Dan
first
Marino
got him
did not have a running back to save his life. Yeah. These are bad players that he was with.
But when we got Didi from Arizona, I was kind of iffy, and that was obviously because everyone was so heartfelt for Jeter that no one could replace him. But Didi is definitely that exception because the production that he's given us is something that I did not expect at all. He's a
spark
plug. Superstar.
He
is. Reminds me of his batting, not the exact swing, but the way his plate presence, the way he's fighting off pitches. He reminded me of Curtis Granderson when we had Curtis Granderson. And
not only that, just watching him, he's always smiling.
Yeah, he's a happy guy.
Yeah, he's just fun. But
yeah, he's definitely, like you said, he was the spark plug. And when we're talking about in the next year with the Yankees possibly going after something like Bryce Harper or something, after this season, I think we have too much to lose for that. As much as it would have been cool a year and a half ago when we were thinking about bringing in Bryce Harper, after seeing this team, if they get rid of Aaron Judge, Gary Sanchez, Greg Bird, or Didi for Bryce, to make room for Bryce,
listen,
I'd be so mad.
What you need to do is move Gary Sanchez to DH, because he sucks as a catcher. He sucks.
We never thought we got into this much detail.
Oh yeah, right. But yeah, I agree. He might not be the greatest catcher in the world, but we do not want to lose him in the lineup. So DH maybe a great place, you know.
Or teach him to play the field.
Yeah, I mean, I know Greg Bird.
First.
Greg Bird is a catcher too. He's playing first. I wonder how good if Greg's better than Sanchez, but you know, at catcher. But I think bat-wise, I think Gary Sanchez has probably a slight edge over Bird just because of the injuries, but I think Bird's going to come up to his own.
Well,
he did in the playoffs.
I think what really needs to happen is Austin Romine just needs to learn how to hit because he's a phenomenal catcher.
Yeah.
He just can't
he's a
hit.
good catcher. And then we have some other, we got we have Clint Frazier coming up. We have Torreyes. There's a lot of players that are good.
Do you know who you don't have anymore? You guys might have got Sonny Gray, but we got Caprillion.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm hoping that Sonny Gray definitely gets more comfortable next season.
I can't wait till Caprillion comes up through the A's team, and then they decide, oh, we'll trade him for prospects.
Yeah.
Oh, I look forward to that. I love that the A's develop prospects just to trade them for prospects.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, it's that whole Moneyball.
It's the worst. You couldn't hear the sarcasm. Because listen to this list of players alone. Justin Dukersher, Rich Harden, Dan Herron, Houston Street, Jemile Weeks, Yonder Alonso.
Too, yeah.
Like, what is going on? Why? Why are you raising these players to give them to someone else? Like, why are you a surrogate?
They're like the A's are like that team, like you were saying, with all those guys and everything. They put everything together. They like just miss the playoffs, or they just get into the playoffs, and that's where they've been sitting for a long time.
Yeah, they're like, you know what? We've got this great defensive second baseman. His hitting's not very good, but he's Ricky Weeks' little brother.
The Mets do the same thing.
So we're definitely going to give him a shot.
Justin Turner,
You know
age
what?
up again.
Yeah.
Same thing.
You know what? He's playing really well. Trade him.
Yep.
Trade him.
We got some value.
I mean,
now.
they got Sonny Gray for him, but like, what was the point of that? You give Sonny Gray 2.5 years in Oakland. What was the point of getting rid of Jemile Weeks or Rajai Davis or anybody? What is the point?
Josh Reddick.
This is completely off topic, but has anybody noticed that LaMelo Ball has his own shoe?
Yes,
We've already
And they're
done that.
$395
Yes.
for a kid that's
And
in
that's-
high school.
And
that's keeping him out of the NCAA.
My brother has a bet with a certain NFL player's brother.
You can drop names. No one's listening.
Okay, so my brother was in Chicago, okay, for a wedding.
And hang on, before I stop, they're now being sued. The Lamar in the Big Baller Brand
Yeah,
for stealing the logo
Yeah.
of another place to put onto the shoe.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's even better. I didn't know about that.
It's a Canadian yoga
That's
shoe.
so.
Yes.
That's so LeVar.
That is so
It
That's so LeVar.
This is like from a month ago.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
Tell them.
So my
tell them
brother
what-
went to a wedding in Chicago and ran into Brandon Marshall's brother. So he.
Oh, what a jerk!
Yeah. So he has this ongoing bet with Brandon Marshall's brother. Brandon Marshall's brother thinks that what was it, LaMelo?
Yeah, LaMelo.
LaMelo is going to go to college. And my brother thinks that he is not going to college. He's either going to go play overseas for a year and then go into the NBA,
Or they're going to change the rule.
Yeah, or they're going to do something. But he just because of that shoe deal is exactly the reason why I'm probably on line with my brother. Because they're not going to allow him to go into the NCAA
I think he's
with his
not.
own shoe.
I think he's not because you saw his father take him out of school.
Yeah.
That right there is the thing for me.
Yeah.
Because you can,
But
he
how
can,
do
he can go to a non NCAA school and play.
Yeah.
Just so he can play, and then get drafted into the NBA, because he won't be breaking any NCAA rules.
No, not at that point. But
So-
I mean, like, the thing is, too, is like, you know, you're taking your kid out of high school, okay? And you're planning on home teaching him? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Okay. He's the teacher? Is he the teacher? Like, because this is a real problem. I have a problem
It's not
with this. What is
Leangelo.
taking priority? Did a kid's just, you know, obvious athletic ability take over any possible education this kid could get? What kind of message is this?
I mean, this is the
He's
same.
gonna be
This is the
the-
same kid that said the N word on WWE. Remember?
Yeah.
It's that whole family is just mind.
No, it's not the whole family. It's LeVar. Lonzo's been
But
silent.
they allow it. I understand he's a high school, a high school kid, and he might not be able to have as much say as some of his other brothers.
I blame the Kardashians.
But Lorenzo, he has every right to be like, you know what, Dad?
Who's Lorenzo?
Not Lorenzo.
Lonzo.
Sorry, he's too new.
No, he's
still.
Italian.
He's still new. Yeah, Lonzo. So Lonzo could easily say to him, get away. Like, I'm getting an agent. Like, you have nothing to do with me anymore.
Yep.
And eventually we'll probably get to that, because for the amount of crap that this kid's going to have to deal with because of his father, it's going to get over.
Oh, you already saw Patrick Beverley's going to...
Yeah.
But and then he has the nerve, the gall of this man to sit there and be like, Patrick Beverley, who's that? First team All-NBA defense from last year. You should probably know the players in this league, bro. I know you never made it, but, it might help your son.
Yeah.
Where do you think that you, who never made it to the NBA or anything, could give the education of basketball to your obviously talented basketball sons who could probably school you in any way?
Well,
and you're just riding the coattails of your own kids.
He could beat Jordan.
I'm going to leap over this table.
Oh my God!
He
could beat Barkley, he said.
He is the epitome of who that person
But you know
that
what?
goes out there trying to be a celebrity.
He's got a TV show. He's on Stephen A. Smith's show every
That's because
week.
he's outlandish. That's because he's outlandish. He'll say anything.
That's what he wants.
He is the embodiment.
We are talking about him now.
Right. He is the embodiment.
He sucks.
He is the embodiment in the perfect representation of that parent in the gym. You know what I'm talking about? The parent that pushed their kids, needed to ride their coattails because their life wasn't as successful enough, and now they're superimposing themselves on them.
You're talking about LeVar Ball, the guy who played basketball at Washington State, also was on the Jets practice squad as a tight end. Okay?
Yeah, okay. You know what?
And
Respect where respect's due.
How many times have you been a practice squad tight end?
Never.
Just wants to teach
I
us.
wouldn't sign up for that. But no, I think Tony's right in the fact too that I remember going and seeing when I was growing up playing basketball, middle school, high school games, whatever it may be, and you had those parents that were like
Coaching from the
screaming at their
sidelines.
kids, not only screaming, but after the game, like ridiculing this kid of not. I'm the kind of person, and I think my parents were the people that taught me, or like the friends that I had and the parents that they had were also very supportive, being like, giving them positive feedback or objective criticism. But he seems like the guy that's going to go up one side of you and down the other, and all these other people in the arena are just looking and be like, look at this guy. Look at what he's doing to his son. I would never want to be his son. That sucks.
And then
That's
here's
exactly
his son in the
what's going on.
NBA.
he did play for a football
But the
team.
son was the one
The
that
Jets.
did it.
No, not on just the practice squad. He did play for a football team. It was when the WLAF existed. He played on the London Monarchs.
Oh,
He was
wow.
an original
He's
Cillian.
internationally traveled too? What? What? Shut the front door. Shut the front door. Man.
LeVar Ball.
This is what this show's been missing. It's chuckles.
LeVar Ball's the best athlete ever. Look at that.
Man. He's multi-sport.
He just
Multi-sport.
He just wants to show his son how to be the best basketball player he can be.
Yeah, right?
That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, can you beat Jordan or Barkley?
Yeah, right?
I want to see.
without ever playing them one-on-one.
I want to see on NBA TV him and Charles Barkley.
You know what he means, right? In a video game.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
I beat Barkley 100
Jordan's
times.
in 2K.
You know what?
He's always in 2K.
That makes sense. The production company that makes this show, they're the ones that make Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
In what? Seacrest?
No,
It's Seacrest!
It's called Brenham and Murray Productions. They create things like Keeping Up with the Kardashians and Real World on MTV.
Oh, that makes sense.
No crap. Yeah.
Oh,
no one else is going to take that jump.
God,
What channel is it going to be on?
what
Does
is-
anyone know what channel it's going to be
It's on Facebook.
Oh yeah,
It's
that's
on
right.
Facebook.
Yeah.
You can't even get on TV?
No, it's
No,
exclusively airs on Facebook.
They wanted an exclusive with Facebook. Like, he didn't want it on TV. He wanted it on
Have
Facebook.
you heard the name of the show?
No.
Ball in the family. Yeah.
Ball in the Family?
Ball
Yeah.
in the Family.
Like All in the Family?
Yes.
Yeah, just adding a beat at the beginning.
And that's so funny because
Grab life
I
by...
don't agree, and it was a different time back then, but All in the Family was
Great
pretty,
show.
Yeah, great show, but, Archie Bunker was a pretty big bigot. Like...
Yeah.
He put the big in bigot.
Yeah, he put the... Yeah, exactly. You're playing on words of a show that was based upon a bigot.
I could write their tag.